Okay, hi guys, it's me, Arv, A-R-V, and what we're gonna do today is talk about Prince and the incredible work of art that Prince has left behind. Like more than 30 albums, 35, 36, I don't know, depending on what you call a full Prince album. And what we're gonna do is work our way through from the first to the very last album and give each album points from 1 to 10. I'm excited doing this, celebrating the music of Prince. Let's dive right into it and start with the very first album that has been released in 1978. Looks a little something like this and is called For You. I like it a lot, give it 7 points. Has a beautiful a cappella intro. All in all, it's smooth, easy listening, and it's all produced, arranged, composed and performed by Prince. And I like it because he's not yet a huge star. He's a talented musician trying to make it, and you can hear it right here. It's a beautiful first album, For You. The next one is self-titled, released just 1 year later, and it's called Prince. And look at how vulnerable he presents himself here. And just like the cover, the music is pretty pure, naked and honest. So took me a while to fully appreciate this one. It was one of the last albums that I really got into. Now it's one I really like a lot. I give it 8 points. It's called Prince. The next one is called Dirty Mind. And look at the man. I mean, who can do this? He did it and took it a little bit further in terms of sexual expression with this album. And I prefer the previous 2 albums. I give this one 5 points. Many might call it the first real Prince classic. I give it 5 points. It's called Dirty Mind. And the next one, Controversy. And I think that's around the time when he really found himself as an artist, expressing himself and becoming even more relevant in his lyrics as well. You get that beautiful songs right here. My favorite is Do Me Baby. He often has the slow jams on the albums, pretty delicate stuff going on right here. All in all, the album is great. I give it 8 points. Next to that is 1999. I call that the real first Prince classic. And I give it 9 points. It's a great album. There are no fillers, great songs like Little Red Corvette, 1999, Free. You can go through the track list and read all the songs. There are just no fillers. It's a great musicianship going on here. But the man only started. He comes out with Purple Rain. It looks a little something like that, and this is when he really invents himself with a motion picture movie and an album as well, both a huge success. And it took me a while to really understand how great this album really is, because of course everybody says, yeah, Purple Rain, Prince, Purple Rain, it's his greatest album, but yes, maybe it is one of his greatest albums, because everything he does here is groundbreaking, innovative, and artistically impeccable. And you get that revolutionary sound from that era, and you get the band The Revolution. It's a huge album, and there will never be another song like Purple Rain. Once you hear it, you will never forget it. I'm one of those happy guys who could hear it live when he performed it in Stuttgart. 10 points, no doubt about it, Purple Rain. So, what to do after something like that? So, that's the kind of artist he is. He didn't copy Purple Rain or try to do it. He came out with something totally different. Around the World in a Day. Inspired a little bit by Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, by the Beatles. So it's a great album as well. I give it 8 points. Everything he did around that time was just great. And you can say, I like this one more or that one more. Some love this one a lot. That's called Parade. It's another motion picture, another soundtrack to a motion picture, just like Purple Rain was before. This is called Parade. Of course, you got Kiss on it. You can hear it in 200 years for 1 second and you know, yeah, that's the song. And so that's how catchy it is. You got a wonderful ballad at the end. A lot of short songs, ideas, but pretty interesting stuff going on right here. I give it 8 points as well. It's Parade. Next one, another masterpiece. Sign of the Times. I'll tell you right away, I give this one 10 points as well. And 10 points means artistically impeccable, innovative, skillful. So that's what Purple Rain is, and that's what Sign of the Times is. It's a double album intended to be a 3-disc set called Crystal Ball. Has been released years later under that name, a compilation. So, but that's Sign of the Times. It's a great album with songs like Sign of the Times, of course. Housequake is a fan favorite. I like The Ballad of Dorothy Parker, everything. Starfish and Coffee, The Cross. I like the second part of the album even more. Tell me what you think about it. 10 points for Sign of the Times. So, the next one, we got Naked Prince again here, doing this epic cover on Lovesexy. And this is a pretty positive album. It's funky and there's a little gospel stuff going on here and there as well. He was a very faithful guy. It's another great album. I give it 7 points. The next one is another soundtrack to a motion picture movie. This is Batman, of course, and was a huge success. A lot of people love it. I don't love it as much. I give this one only 4 points, but let's not forget talk is cheap. Prince was not into critics a lot. He was more into creating and not judging other people's over their creation. So be creative yourself was kind of his message. In that sense, he influenced other people as well. So, but my personal opinion, or it never grew on me personally, so I give it 4 points. Just like the next one, that's called Graffiti Bridge. Another soundtrack to a motion picture movie as well. It wasn't a huge success, the movie, and so wasn't the album. And there are great songs on it. My favorite one is Join Repetition. He played that live over and over again. But all in all, the album could have been a little bit shorter with only the Prince songs and not all the guest musician songs that are part of the movie. Should maybe not be part of the album, but it is. It's just my personal opinion. So I give this one 4 points as well. It's Graffiti Bridge. Tell me what you think about it. So, next one, of course, is Diamonds and Pearls. Yeah, and this was a huge success. And no doubt a great album. And a lot of fans appreciate this. It's a fan's favorite for many fans. I give it 7 points. It's a solid album for me with huge tracks. All in all, the album never grew on me that much. That's why I give it 7 points. Diamonds and Pearls. Don't be angry right here. I tell you, this is just my personal opinion. So the next one is the Lovesymbol album. I prefer this one. This is where he uses that love symbol that should later become his name, the unpronounceable symbol. So, great stuff going on right here. Of course, there's the sexy MF, My Name is Prince, 7, a lot of great songs. It's kind of a concept album with skits, with interviews in between the songs here and there. Some hidden messages maybe, like in the inlay where it says don't buy the Black Album. We'll get right into that a little bit later. So I give this one, the Lovesymbol album, 8 points. It's a great album. Next one to come is called Come. It looks like that. It's the Come album. It's the last time when he called himself Prince for a while. He later decided to change his name into that unpronounceable symbol as a consequence of the conflicts he had with his record company. So there's some electronic stuff going on right here, deep bass lines. I like it overall. It's a bit of a dark atmosphere, but all in all a great album as well. I give it 7 points. So the next one, the legendary Black Album. As I said before, this was around the time Lovesexy was released. And later on, Prince didn't want this to be released. It still was released on Warner Brothers. And it's a dark funk album. It was too dark for Prince. He didn't want it to be released because of that. But that's the kind of guy he was. At that time, he was into different kind of music. So he didn't want this to be released. I still got mine. And I give it, the Black Album, I give it 6 points. Still a good funk album. So, is when I really personally got into Prince. When this one was released, the Gold Experience. I love it. It looks like that on disc. This is the original cover. And it's a great album. I rank it pretty high. I give it 9 points, close to 10 even. But there are a couple of songs that didn't make it on the album, and I wish they would have. You can find some of those on the Crystal Ball compilation. But all in all, of course, a great album. I like this period. I like the band right here, the New Power Generation in the Constellation right here as it was at that period of time. It's the Gold Experience. I give it 9 points. So let's make it a little bit more comfortable for me, because you know there's a lot of music, as you can see, and we're not finished yet, guys. So the next one is Chaos and Disorder. Just after the Gold Experience. Chaos and Disorder, and it's a rocky album, and I like the poetry right here. It's pretty poetic, the lyrics, and pretty unique songs that you don't find in that kind of style on any other Prince album, like The Same December, Right the Wrong. Pretty rocky, the whole album. All in all, I give it 9 points as well, because in this period of time, to me personally, there's no wrong he could do. The next one is a pretty special release as well, and it's called Emancipation. And it's called Emancipation because at that period of time he freed himself from the bondages in the record companies. So that's when you saw the name, the slave on his face. And he used the name Symbol, of course. And he freed himself with that album. It's an MPG release. And I give it 9 points. It's an interesting phase in Prince's career. It's 3 hours of music. I prefer the second part. Like, you get 3 albums independently almost. And I prefer the second one. It's so beautiful. You can hear he was just about to build a family, which tragically didn't happen as he planned it, but that's a whole different story. You can dive right into it when you're interested in his personal life. We're talking about his music. So I give this one 9 points. It's a fascinating album. So there was Emancipation. The next one, I remember I was pretty excited to get my hands on that one, and it's called Crystal Ball. It was a rarity, kind of, at that time, and pretty great stuff. So you have 4 discs here, and one is called The Truth, that has been released later independently. And these are new songs at the time, and Prince pretty personally, sometimes biographically, sorry guys, and great stuff going here, pretty intimate. And the other discs are full of songs that didn't make it on the other albums or remixes, even live versions, goldies. So this is a pretty great stuff. I give it 8 points, The Truth and Crystal Ball together. So Next, we need a little bit of space here. It was Crystal Ball. So next one is New Power Soul, but a New Power Generation. It wasn't released as a Prince album, but it is a Prince album somehow with the New Power Generation. But for some reason or the other, they decided to release it as a New Power Generation album. And it aged pretty well. It's a feel-good album. And I give it, what we got here, 7 points for New Power Soul. And let's not forget there's another New Power Generation album. That's more like a band effort, Exodus. I rank it even higher. It was released previous, around 94 I think, 4 or 5. So I give this one 8 points. There's some epic tracks right on there. And it's more of a band thing. With a lot of skits going on, funny stuff. The dude was pretty funny. You can witness on this album, Exodus. So next one is Rave Unto the Joy Fantastic. As you can see, looks pretty nice. So I give it 7 points. Some don't like it as much. I never knew why, because I think song material here is pretty solid. Great songs on there. And should have been a great success, a great comeback album. For some of the other reasons it wasn't. Let's not dive into that deeper. Let's talk about the music. There's some features right there. Some raps going on. I think it's Chuck D. And I give it 7 points. He decided to release another version of it called Rave Into the Joy Fantastic, with some different mixes of the songs and some songs replaced, interswitched in between those albums. But if you like this, you like that, and vice versa. I give it 7 points, both the albums. It's and aged pretty pretty good as well, in my opinion. So next one, I love it, is The Rainbow Children. And that's when he started to call himself Prince again. See, we got this little thing going on right here. Let me show you. Here's the man. It's a beautiful work of art as well. So some may not like it as much because he dives really deep into his religious beliefs right here. He was a Jehovah's Witness, and that's too much for some people maybe. To me it sounds pretty positive, and he was compassionate about his belief and his faith, and nothing negative about it. So I didn't switch my belief listening to this one, so it's not dangerous. You can enjoy the music. It's so smooth and jazzy. It's like one track. It's great. I give it 9 points. It's The Rainbow Children. Next one is One Nite Alone, and another pretty intimate experience. He sounds pretty close, like he's right behind you, whispering in your ears. It's just him with the piano. It's like really One Nite Alone with Prince, and beautiful stuff going on there with one or the other cover as well. And I give it 9 points. It's at the time it wasn't easy to get your hands on it, so it's a great album as well. That's called One Nite Alone. The next one is called N.E.W.S, North, East, West, and South. And the special thing here is there are no vocals on this album. He decided to do something like that as well. So it's not what some may not expect when they hear a Prince album, but I'm glad he did something like this, and it's great musicianship right on there. Check out the musicians on the album. It's a great jazz album. N.E.W.S, I give it 8 points. The next one is called Musicology. It was a huge success. That's kind of a comeback in sense of when he reached a broader audience once again. And it's called Musicology. never grew on me personally that much. So I give it 6 points. Tell me what you think about it, because a lot of people really love and appreciate this album. So next one is 3121. Beautiful cover. Looks like that. And never grew on me personally as well. So I give it only 4 points. Tried it really hard. Listened to it over and over and tried really hard to like it. And that's just my personal opinion. A lot of people love this one. Tell me what you think about it in your comments. So, next one, it's a beautiful cover. But as you can see, it's not my favorite period of Prince's career, so I give this one only 3 points. It's even the lowest ranking I give any of the Prince's album, but let's not forget, if it was for any other musician, this would be a great album. So this is just my personal opinion. As a whole album, I never liked it as much as his other albums. So that's Planet Earth. It goes on and on and on with Prince. Never stopped and continued with Lotus Flower. So I prefer that. I really like Lotus Flower. And it's a 3-disc set, yeah? With the main disc being the second one called Lotus Flower. But there's another one where he produces the music of a soul singer called Bria Valente. It's a soul album and it works, yeah. So, and there's another one, another disc, Minneapolis Sound. It's a funky feel-good stuff with a little rap stuff going on. Q-Tip is featured there, but the main one is the second one, Lotus Flower. Pretty relevant in its lyrics as well, and I like it a lot. I give it 8 points. So the next one is called 2010, released in 2010, of course, and wasn't easy to get my hands on that as well, because at the time it was released, it was just in the newspaper. He always tried to find new ways to get the music to his audience, so that's the way he decided to do it at that time. But talking about the album, it's positive, it's I like it. I give it 7 points with funky stuff going on here, great lyrics as well. So it's a solid album, 7 points. 2010. The next one is Artificial Age, and now we enter the last phase of Prince releasing music while still alive. So that's the sad thing about it, and you can kind of sense it on that album. It got that mysterious vibe on it, I think. Tell me what you think about it, because I think it's pretty mysterious. Don't want to say dark, but there are some vocals going on in between the songs, as if there's some message to deliver. I mean, there is a storyline there, but it's pretty interesting. The songs, it's co-produced by somebody else, so that's something unique as well. Usually he didn't want to do something like that. In that case he did, because it worked. So it's a strong album as well. I give it 6 points. Artificial Age. So let's continue. About that time he released an album called Plectrumelectrum with Third Eyed Girl. It's he always wanted to have that female rock band, and he did here with 3 female musicians and himself. And it's a rock band, and maybe that's the kind of music he was into at that time, at the very last time of his life. He would have been on tour with that kind of music. So pretty sad we never witnessed that, but the album is great. I give it 7 points. Plectrumelectrum by Third Eyed Girl. So what next? It's Hit and Run Phase 1. You can see it's the same that I have on my t-shirt. I like the idea of the third-eyed glasses. It's a funny dude. So there's a lot of electronic wizardry and going on right here, and trickery. So he showcases he can do something like that as well. Some may not like it because it's maybe not what you expect out of a Prince album. I like it a lot because it just shows you another facet of the man. So I give it 7 points. Hit and Run Phase 1. And then he comes out with Hit and Run Phase 2, which is the last album that's been released by the man while still alive. So it's totally different than the previous album. It's pretty organic, jazzy, smooth. I like the opener a lot, Baltimore, but there are a lot of nice ballads. And it's a great album as well. I give it 7 points. So as you can see, at the end of his life, he was still delivering and bringing the goods. So the next one, sadly, is already posthumous stuff. It's called Welcome to America. We got that one on LP as well. So looks beautiful and should have been released earlier when he was still alive. But for some or the other reason, he decided not to release it. Tour was already going on. There was a Welcome to America tour, but the album never got released. Of course, when he passed, it got released and sold. And as you can expect, it's a great album because it's produced and performed and composed by the man himself. So I give this one 7 points as well. And that's pretty much it, guys. I mean, we got an album that's called The Vault. I didn't mention that for reasons I don't want to get into that much, because you know he had his stuff going on with record companies, and who knows if he even wanted that album to be released. And then of course there's that, it got released posthumous as well. It's called Piano and the Microphone. I love this because it's so intimate as well. You can feel him really close and see his how skillful the man is, just jamming on the piano and doing his thing with his unique voice. I mean, as you can see, I love Prince. Maybe you dive deeper into his music. Thanks for listening, guys, and appreciate it, and see you next time.